What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Disqualia. Yes, indeed, how about that? Disqualia making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bobbidi-bob, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Thomas Roaring, and Thomas wanted to see me react to this song by Disqualia called Right Now. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, hold it, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Slawomir Poleski. Yeah, we'll go with that. And the video has 90,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Disqualia, Right Now, 2016. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Call me crazy, but didn't Arch Enemy film a music video in this exact same location? I think it was where Eagles Fly or something like that. I think that was the name of the song, Where Eagles Fly. I swear, this looks like the exact same location. I'm having a little deja vu right now, if I'm being honest. Halftime feels nice. like that halftime for a number of reasons. I like that halftime feel. Reason number one, it broke up the monotony of the song because we've been carrying on that. We've been carrying along at that pace for a while. Okay, we have been. And then to switch gears to that halftime feel, snare on 3, heavy snare on 3. Man, that felt good. That felt good. I love the switch up, the variety in the feel. That's number one. Number two, the other reason I like it is the fact that she did it twice. She let the phrase grow out. So rather than doing it for 8 measures and then going back to the for the next 8 measures of the verse, she played all 16 measures of the verse in that halftime feel. She gave it a chance to really expand. She gave it a chance to really set itself apart from the rest of the song, and she really gave it, that part of the song, a chance to marinate in that feeling. Folks, there is no worse. Okay, people have been saying lately they like my cooking analogies. Here's another cooking analogy. Have you ever marinated a it's got to be a thick piece of meat. You can't just take a T-bone. You can't just take a little 1/4-inch thick T-bone and marinate it like this. It has to be a big, thick piece of meat. So like, let's take a 1-inch thick ribeye or a London broil. Or, I mean, I guess you could do this with a tri-tip too. You take one of these pieces of meat, you put it in a Ziploc bag, you put marinade in the bag to cover the meat, right? And you seal it. And you let it marinate for, I don't know, half an hour, sure, 30 minutes. And then you pull it out, you put it on the grill, you cook it up really nice, you take it off the grill, you let it rest. After it's done resting, you put it on your plate, you cut into it, you take a bite. How flavorful is that meat after just 30 minutes in the marinade? Not very flavorful. Now, take the same piece of meat, put it in the exact same Ziploc bag, put the exact same marinade on it, wrap it up, take all the air out, put it in the fridge, and let it sit in that marinade for, I don't know, how about 2 days? 2 days sounds good for a 1-inch thick ribeye or a nice London broil. You know, you're going to let that sit for 2 days in that marinade. Now you put it on the grill. Now you cook it up nicely. You test once it's done cooking. Take it off. Let it rest. Exactly like you did before. Cut into it. Take a bite. Oh my goodness, the flavor explosion that you're going to have in your mouth when you let that meat sit. You take the time to let it sit and marinate properly, right? Same thing here. You let that halftime feel marinate. You let it sit. You let it grow. Oh, man.
Nice.
Nice, nice, nice.
The impact that it has on the song. What a difference, right? Imagine if she had just done the halftime for 8 measures and then gone back to that double time feel. Imagine that. Would it have felt anywhere near as good? No. I don't think so. I like what she did. I really do. And it had a very positive impact on the song as a whole. So, yeah, good stuff. Let's keep going here. Now switch up into the pre-chorus. Into the chorus. I have a feeling people know exactly what I'm going to say. And okay, do me a favor, folks, just real briefly, take a moment. If you think, okay, I'll give you a little hint. I'm going to say something about the guitar solo section. Okay, now, if you think you know what I'm going to say, this is what I want you to do. I want you to write on a piece of paper what you think I'm going to say about it. Okay, just take a quick moment, get a piece of paper, write down what I'm going to say. Pause the video right now. Pause it. Write out what you're going to say, and let's see if you're right. I'll give you 5 seconds. Ready? Okay, by this point, you've written out what you wanted to say, and you've unpaused the video. Time to see if you're right about what you think I'm going to say. There have been a number of bands on the channel when it comes to doing guitar solos that are following the exact same philosophy. Guitar player number 1 starts, guitar player number 2 takes over, and then they come together and harmonize. How many bands have we seen do that? Well, let's see. Love Bites, first one that comes to mind. Aldius, there's another one that comes to mind. It's not guitars, it's violin and guitar, but Unlucky Morpheus, we've seen them do it. Shoya, we've seen them do it. And that's just the all-female bands. I haven't even talked about the male bands. Sigamatsu, there's another one. Extra Pan, there's another one. I don't know if I've seen Diron Gray do it. I think I have. We'll put Diron Gray in the mix there. And these are just bands I found on the channel, you know? This isn't even everybody. You know, we've seen this happen a number of times with a number of bands, okay? I hate to say this, but it's getting a little generic. You know, a lot of bands are doing it now. A lot of bands have been doing it for years. Here's the funny thing. Where do we get that from? Honestly, I think going back as early as we can, I think the best example would be Judas Priest from the 70s Judas Priest. That's where we really started to see it happen more than any other band, where it kind of became, along with their look and their visual appearance, that became one of Judas Priest's calling card, was the dual guitar threat of Glenn and KK. So Glenn would start a solo, and then KK would do a solo. And then sometimes they would be, you know, trade dates, and then they would come together and harmonize. But it wasn't every single song. It feels like every single song with these bands, it's the same thing. It's every song, guitar player 1, guitar player 2, harmonize. Or, I've seen this done too, guitar player number 1, harmonize, guitar player number 2. And then maybe come back and harmonize again. It's becoming a little, for lack of a better word, generic and predictable. Now, what the ladies played sounded fine. It sounded good. It sounded, I had no problem with anything they played. It sounded just fine. It sounded clean, well thought out, well executed. But at the same time, it's like, oh, here we go again. Another one. Anyway, I wish we could kind of break away from that trend and maybe just let one guitar player do the whole solo section. Just one. And then on another song, let the other guitar player have the whole solo section. You know, let's try to break things up a little bit. Or have them both do solos, no harmonization. Or do harmonization for the whole solo, and that's it. You know, I don't know. Try to mix things up a little bit, you know? They did such a great job with the halftime feel, and to have that happen, it's just, I feel like the two just kind of canceled each other out. But anyway, let's keep going here. Let's see what they got. I like this. False ending, lured us in. They dangled that worm right in front of us, and we all bit on it, didn't we? Yes, we all did. Hey, I'm talking to you right now. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Don't even pretend like you didn't bite. We all bit down on that hook right there. I thought the song was over. I thought it was. It felt like they were wrapping it up. Going into that halftime feel, I'm like, this feels like they're wrapping it up. And then they played the chordal progression. It sounded like that was the finality. Nope. Psych. That ain't the case. The halftime feel. Nope. Nicely done. Call me crazy, but I wish they had taken the false ending and the real ending, and I wish they had switched their places. I think that would have been amazing. I think that would have been a fantastic end. Because I liked the ending they had for that fake out ending. I liked that. It sounded really good with that ringing bell at the end. That would have been beautiful for an actual ending. But I like both parts, and I want to keep both parts. So, it's a toss-up, I guess. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Disqualia with a tune called Right Now. This was a request from Thomas Roaring. Okay, I thought about it. I took everything into account, and I have a score here. So, let's get to the score, and then I'll explain how I got to this score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give that an 8.1. Yep, 8.1. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.1. What does that mean? Well, an 8.1 would translate to a great scale rating. So overall, I think this was a great job, okay? We're going to talk about some pluses and some minuses here, but overall, an 8.1, great scale rating. It will also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.1, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Ha-ha! So glad you asked. Okay, I said this before during the course of the reaction. There have been a lot of bands that have made an appearance on this channel that have a lot of similarities to these ladies, okay? The appearance might be a little different, the gimmick might be a little different, the shtick might be a little different, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. An all-female band, in this case, an all-Japanese female band, 2 guitar players, they're very guitar solo-driven, female vocalist, lead vocalist, can sing very well. Bass player and drummer are rock solid, but the main focus of the attention is on the dual guitar threat, okay? Where you have one guitar player doing, the first part of the guitar solo, second guitar player does the second part of the solo. Sometimes they switch places, and then they come together and they harmonize, okay? You're gonna have those 3 things, guitar 1, guitar 2, and then harmonize solo. Those 3 things are going to happen. Now, the order in which they appear may be a little different. Some bands will do guitar 1, harmonize, and then guitar 2. Some bands will do guitar 2, harmonize, guitar 1. Sometimes they do guitar 2 or guitar 1, then guitar 2 or guitar 1, and then they harmonize afterward. Or sometimes they'll start with the dual harmonies, and then do 1 and 2. But the point is, you're going to get those 3 parts, okay? We've seen that happen with a number of bands here. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've never seen it before, because I have many times on the channel. Now, having said that, I'm not going to sit here and say that what they did was bad. It wasn't. It sounded good. It was a really nice guitar solo section from both ladies, on both their solo fronts and on their dual front. I am going to say this, though, and Disqualia fans, I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, okay? I really am, but I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen other bands do it, and I'm sorry to say I've seen other bands do it better, okay? They did a fine job. They did a fine job. It sounded really good. I have no issue whatsoever with what I heard. But I wasn't blown away by it like I was with other bands, okay? I'm going to name a couple bands just to give you an example. First one that comes to mind, Love Bites. They're the first ones. When it comes to the Japanese ladies, the Japanese all-female bands, when it comes to the dual guitar threat, I'm sorry, Love Bites is at the top of the list. They really are. I'm going to name another band too, Aldius. I mean, I've been watching a lot of them lately on the channel, and yeah, it's becoming old hat. I'm seeing them do it every single song, but they still do it really well. And I'm sorry to say they do it better than these 2 ladies did. Now, having said that, though, like I said, these 2 ladies, they did a fine job. I'm not criticizing them. I'm not saying they did a bad job. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying I've seen other bands do it better. That's all. The bass here, I liked what the bass player was doing. Very tasteful, especially that breakdown section, where it was just her and vocals, and that was nice. What she played was very tasteful. More importantly, she made some great decisions as far as what not to play. No popping and slapping, no tapping, no arpeggiations, no long-winded runs. No, she just played some simple melodic selection notes and kept it stripped down to allow the vocals to be the star. I like that. I think it's a very tasteful, smart approach. Speaking of tasteful, I'm sorry, but I'm going to come back to the drumming with that halftime feel in the second verse. Smart move. And I'm even going to take it a step further. I'm glad that she didn't do it every single verse. She did it on the second verse only. And then she did it later on towards the end of the song. She went into that halftime feel again for the wrap up. I like that. Using it sparingly. Don't overuse it to the point that it loses its shine. That's the last thing you want to do, because then it's not special anymore. Now it's expected. So I think it was tasteful what she played, and I'm even more tasteful the fact that she kept it to a minimal use. So very well done on her part. I'm going to say something really weird for me when it comes to female Japanese bands. I loved the vocals on this. I really and legitimately did. There are a number of times where I'll hear female vocalists, and I'm going to name a name here, and it's nothing against her. It's not that I hate her or anything like that. It's just that the fact is there are some times where her vibrato gets a little carried away. Fuki. It doesn't matter what band that she's with. It doesn't matter if she's with Unlucky Morpheus. It doesn't matter if she's with Doll's Box. It doesn't matter who she's performing with. Sometimes her vocals get a little wide. And it can get on my nerves. It really does. And I'm sure I'm not the only one whose nerves it gets on. Her vibrato, the widest it got was like half of that. At the widest, she was very subtle with her vibrato. And the only time that she let her vibrato get any, I'm not even going to say carried away, because by normal standards, it was not carried away at all. But the only time that she would allow it to get wide for her was when it was needed, like the apex of the song. Bring it, girl. Let it go. Let it fly. And even then, she didn't let it fly. It was still pretty controlled. I was really happy to hear that. Some great vibrato control. On top of that, she has a really nice pitch. pitch control. Her tone is really nice too. Her diction, her vowel formation, all very well done. I think, and I know people are going to probably disagree with me on this, I think the vocals were the highlight of the song. I know that sounds weird coming from this guy, but I gotta say the vocals were the strongest part of the song. Not taking anything away from the guitar players. I'm really not. They did a fine job too. They contributed in a positive way. I would just like to see some things switch up a little bit so they're not following in the exact same blueprint as all these other bands that came before them and are going to come after them too, probably. I'd like to see some different approaches when it comes to guitar solos. No, but overall, this was a great job. For a first time out on the channel, I was very, very entertained, and I had a great time listening to the song. I'll absolutely listen to it again. And the chorus, without question, was the hook. I mean, that's what absolutely hooked me to want to listen to the song again. So my only question now is, how are they live? You know, because I'm hearing a lot of harmonizations in the vocals, and I'm like, those vocals sound like the same voice, just harmonized. So I'm curious to see what these ladies sound like in a live situation. Who does the backing vocals? Is it track? Is it track backing vocals? I got no problem with that. I have no problem with vocals being done on track, backing vocals being done on track, as long as we're honest about it. If you're going to utilize track to do the harmonizations, that's fine, but don't you dare put a microphone out there in front of the bass player or in front of one of the guitar players and have them pretend to sing. At that point, now you're intentionally lying to your audience, and I have zero respect for that. If you're going to use track, use track. No microphones on the stage for anybody. Just do the track. I will have a lot more respect for that. If your vocals are live, then obviously have the vocal mic out there for bass player, guitar player 1, guitar player 2, or the drummer could be back there with a, swivel mic. That's fine too. Hold on, Mike Portnoy. No, I don't care who does the backing vocals. Doesn't matter to me. But I mean, if you're going to do it live, then do it live, obviously. That's fine too. Just don't try to fool your audience. I've seen a number of bands on the channel try to fool their audience, and they always screw up. They always screw up at some point. They get off the mic too soon and the vocals are still going and they've already backed off the mic. Well, that's a dead giveaway. Or they'll miss their mark. The harmonies will start and they're not on the mic and they get there in 2 beats, Too late. You've already shown your hand, You've already been, shown that you guys are lying. You guys are trying to deceive your audience. I don't like dishonesty. I have no respect for it. So if you're going to use it, use it. If you're not, don't. But if you're going to use it, be honest about it. That's all I ask. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see what these ladies are all about live on the channel. We'll see. Hopefully somebody requests some live performance for them. If they even perform live. I don't know if they do. They should. I think they have some potential for having a good live show. From what I can see, now granted, it's a music video. Take everything you see in music videos with a grain of salt. But from the energy I was seeing in the music video, I think they have a potential of having a really good live show. I guess time will tell. Anyway, 8.1, I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.1, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.